I've been involved heavily lately in the new program called Parks on the Air. And as Parks on the Air, as what Billy said, Parks on the Air is for everybody. It's not just for HF. Use it for VHF, UHF. All bands are welcome for Parks on the Air. Most of the activity is on the HF though. So, all right. Parks on the Air is a program that encourages communications to and portable operations from any state, provincial, and national managed public land. So, city parks and so forth do not count. It has to be a state or federally run park. Now, each park number has a designation number as well. Make sure.
City parks count?
No, city parks do not count. I mean, you can activate it. I mean, you could do a city park, but it doesn't count towards Parks on the Air awards or certificates or points or whatever they say.
What if it's federal land and it's operated by the city?
If it's it has to be in our park. We have a list of parks. I'm gonna get to that. If you have any questions, we'll get to the questions at the end. I'm sorry I'm running a little late, so I'm trying to catch up here a little bit. But if it's a federal park, most likely it's in the database as a designated park, Parks on the Air reference with the K number. And the easier way to find that, I'm gonna get to that in the slideshow. You can look up anywhere in the world and see any parks near you, what their designation numbers are, and so forth. All right, joining POTA is very easy, it's free, it doesn't cost you a dime. Only thing that costs you is your equipment that you bring, that's your radio, your antenna, portable battery, preferably if you want to lug a AGM or a LifePo 4 is preferable because it's smaller, lightweight to carry. You can use anything. You can use shore power at the park. A lot of park pavilions have shore power. You can use that. It's not a contest, so you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about any special exchanges or anything on that part as a activator. As a hunter, you don't even have to worry about logging your contact with a Parks on the Air activator. As long as he got you in the log, his job is to make sure he puts his log in to the coordinator, and it'll get submitted that way, and you will accrue awards and so forth. Any more information is always available at parksontheair.com. All right, they don't store any passwords or anything of that, so you don't have to worry about security reasons for that. All right, activators. That's what I do. I'm both an activator and a hunter. I started out as a hunter, sat at my radio in my house, and just spun the dial looking for Parks on the Air activators. And we have a app, which I'm gonna get to in a second, where you can easily find activators that's out activating the park anywhere in the world. We have over 10,000 parks in the USA and Canada, and each park has a reference number assigned to that park. Some parks have 2 reference numbers, some parks have 3. Actually, a buddy of mine, he just did what we call a fifer, where it was 5 parks in one location. This was in Washington, D.C., while he was on layover for Amtrak heading down to Hamcation. Did 5 parks, so he got credit for 5 different locations from that one area. The parks intersected each other, and that's how you get the 5 the extra parks added on. This is just a quick map of all the parks. I know it's kind of hard to see here, but all those red dots are all the different parks that's in the United States and Puerto Rico and Alaska and Hawaii. And we also have parks in Europe. They just activated South America. Japan is a big Parks on the Air activation place also. So it's, the program has gone worldwide, not just the U.S. and Canada. The references, like I was telling you, each park has a number assigned to it. I just made a little list here of all the different parks that I've gone to and other parks that's close by. You could do that as well. You know, the top 4 parks just easy for me to drive to, takes me about 15 minutes to a half an hour at the most, is Pumpkin Hill Creek Reserve Park, which is on the north side. Fort Caroline National Memorial, right there off of Arlington. Yellow Bluff State Forest Park, which is on the almost at the foot of the Dames Point Bridge, and Jennings State Forest, which is out there near Cecil Field. All those 4 parks that I can easily get to, and there's one more, but I didn't add that because I don't go to that park. There's too much interference at that park. I've activated it, but I have a hard time there. There's too much RFI and I don't, must be one of the transformers that'll run up US 1 because there's no other houses around, it's just woods. So I don't go to that one. That's the one that's closest to my house, actually. But I don't go to that one that much. I didn't add it on my list. And then you have other parks further south, further north, and so forth. All right, as I mentioned, when you need to activate a POTA park, you just need a valid amateur radio license, which probably we all have, or if you're getting one, you can use any radio. You can use a QRP radio, a G90. You can use a homebrew. Doesn't matter what type of radio it is, you can use that. Any portable antenna, an end-fed wire, a homemade vertical antenna, any antenna you can use. And like I said before, you have to have power to power your radio, and or you can use the AC power if there's AC power available, or if you want to bring a little generator, that's up to you. A logger, I say a logger is good, but it's not necessary. You can use pen and paper, but to upload your logs, you have to do it on the computer to upload it to the section manager for your section. And just have fun. That's all. Just go out there and have fun. Like I said, it's not a contest. Just go out there, have fun, test your equipment, see how well it performs, see what you need to improve on, and so forth. All right, a lot of popular antennas I use. I don't use wires as much. I do have a wire in my bag for just in case, but I use a self-supporting antenna like a Wolf River coil or alpha antennas. Soda Beams has a nice telescoping pole. Buddy Pole makes good portable antennas. Screwdrivers, you can use ham sticks on top of your car. You don't even have to get out your car. You mentioned that. You can sit in your car, pop a ham stick on the roof or the trunk, and go and activate the park. If it's a rainy day out, I mean, it's happened to me. I went to a park, nice and sunny, get there, it starts pouring rain. I said, well, I drove all the way over here. I'm not going to leave. I'm just going to pop the ham stick on the car, have on the magnet mount, and activated the park that way and had fun doing it, sitting in my car. And once you're done, you only need 10 contacts to say the park is activated. 10 is the minimum. I say always go for like 12, maybe 15 to have a buffer for just in case. You might have a call sign that's written wrong, or you might, something happened to that call, or whatever the case may be. Always trying to make a little bit extra, but the first 10 makes your park activated park, and it's within 1 UTC day. So from 0000 UTC, 0000 UTC to 2359 UTC is 1 day. So at 0000 UTC, which is 7 o'clock our time now, starts another day and will count as a late shift and another day for the park. So if you happen to be at a park and it's 6 o'clock, you can do your contacts, but once it gets to 0000 UTC, you'll want to start a new log because now it's a new day. So now you can submit 2 logs for the same park that you've been there for that past couple of hours. You can use any band, even the work bands. Okay, like I said, it's not a contest. You can use simplex and you can use satellite. You can make satellite contacts if you're into that. The only thing is no repeaters are allowed. Repeaters are not allowed. So anything simplex related. We recommend operating on, this is for HF people, recommend operating on the general band, but you can work on any part of the band or whatever your license allows you to work. General portion, you'll get more contacts because a lot more people are generals than they are extras or advances, so you'll fill up your log a little faster. And people have activated in the extra portion or the advanced portion also. So I spoke about the exchange. It's just your call sign, signal report, and give the location. You know, this way the activator know, hey, I'm in California and I'm reaching all the way here to North Florida. Okay, my antenna is working all right. Okay, and vice versa. Only thing, make sure you log the date, time, and the band. That's the only three things that's needed in the park number, and to upload it to the park coordinator. Each park, each section. So you have your section, you have 1 section, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. Each section has their own designated section manager that submits your log. You send it to them. So for example, I'm KD2SXD, so I send my log to Tuland, which happens to be up north. All right. If you're 4, you send it to the 4 guy. If you're 5, you send it to 5, etc., etc. Calling CQ. When you're activating, saying it's real simple. You just say CQ Parks in the Air, CQ POTA, the call sign, and whatever park number you're at. Say it slow, say it a couple of times, at least 30 seconds, because you got people like me that's spinning the dial, and I might come across you. Same thing with CW. CW operators, you could do the same thing. You start off with the CQ POTA, call sign twice, and your park number. See that, do that a couple of times. The good thing about CW is they have a skimmer. The Parks on the Air has a skimmer which skims the reverse beacon network. So when you put your call sign in there twice with CQ POTA, the reverse beacon network picks up your signal and actually automatically uploads that you're at a park, and lets you know, because it'll grab the park number and your call sign. Logging, I talked about. Like I said, paper log is fine. You can use a paper log. The only thing is you have to enter in the computer, and you can do the fast log entry. There's only a couple of things you need to send, which is the time, the band, the mode, and the park designation to upload to the coordinator. A simple logging program that I use this on my iPad, is called Hammers, which is free and is available for all platforms on Windows, Mac, iPhone, Android, HAMRS, and it's great. It's not just for POTA. They have templates in there for field day, templates in there for summits on the air, and a couple other templates in there. But a lot of us POTA guys been using this app. This app was made by another ham, and he wanted something simple that we could use out in the field and just get the basic information to upload to the coordinators. All right. Why I enjoy operating POTA is because floor is much lower than in my house. I mean, I don't have a high noise floor in my house anyway, but the noise floor is very low. When I go out to the park, I almost have zero noise. Maybe 1, but that's about it. That's 1, but that's about it. Everything is different. When you go to different parks, the terrain might be different. Space-wise, it might be a small park or it might be a crowded park, so you might have to adjust how you set your antenna. Always be mindful. It seems that people are attracted to wires. I don't know why, but when you set up antennas or run coax, it seems to draw the people right to it. I had one group of people that came I don't know what it was. They just all seemed like they were walking towards my antenna. I had to stop transmitting, tell them to watch my antenna and my radios on the floor, and they just seemed like it didn't bother them. All right. And like I said before, it's an opportunity to get your go kit outside and practice. Don't just wait for field day. Twice a year. You can go out any day. Every day is field day for us at POTA. All right. Makes you a better operator, keeps your skills sharp, and make friends all over the world. You also get DX contacts. I get DX contacts all the time when I'm out there. Alrighty. If you happen to have, I'm just going to skip over some of the bullet points because I already touched on them. But they accept the logs anytime. There's no rush to submit your log. If you're an activator, there's no rush to submit your log. You can submit your log next year if you wanted to. But we ask that you do it, in a timely fashion because other people might be counting on you. They might say, "Oh, I got a new park under the belt," and they're waiting for you to submit your log so they could get an award. Let's see here. Another good thing is if you have been to parks before and you have operated at a park and you have your log, you can submit that, even if it's years back. Some people are still submitting logs from 10 years ago. Even though the program is just starting, they are accepting logs from other parks that have been activated prior to the program actually being in effect. So you can send that if you still happen to have it. Okay. We also have a stats page where you can always check your stats and the maps like I talked about before and so forth. These are some of the awards I've got. Just a little bit snippet, different type of awards. You do come where you can download them and print them out yourself and put them in a nice little frame. It's up to you if you want to. The one on the left there, that one was for 1,500 different parks I've made contact with. So the one on the right there is proof of I did a park to park, meaning I was at a park and I spoke to another activator that was at another park, and I did at least 50 park to park exchanges, and we both submitted our logs, so that's how that counts. Okay, so when you do a park to park, it also counts as well. One on the left here, I did a contact from a park more than 20 times. This is my buddy James up in New York, and he always goes to this park. This is the one that's close to his house, and activate. And I've contacted him at least over about 40 times at Gateway National Park there in New York City. And the one on the right is my first Kilo Award. The Kilo Award, I got 1,000 QSOs from one park. So not in one day. It accumulated. So every time you submit your log, it accumulates. But going to that park, which was Pumpkin Hill, I got over 1,000 QSOs from that one park alone. I do have another Kilo Award from Jennings State Forest that did the same thing. I got over 1,000 log contacts from that park as well. All right, hunters. Hunters are the ones that be in their house. Those are the ones that sit in their house and at the park, or they may be at a city park, or they're just out mobiling, stimulating the economics out there. And they come across you and they make a contact. They're considered the hunters. All right. Like I said, you get awards as well as being a hunter for different types of things, such as the ones I just showed. And let's see, you don't have to submit your log, like I said. That's not your thing, but you can. You can submit your log. If you make a contact with a park in Hawaii and you don't have Hawaii for your worked all states, submit, put it in your logbook, in your regular logbook, so you can get credit and get that state as well. All right, we have a scheduler on the POTA.app website. I don't really use it. Some people do. If they know they're going to be somewhere, they'll schedule and say, hey, I'm going to be at this park at this time. Look for me. This way, some people, they look for their friends or they look for a special person and so forth. We also have a Facebook page. We also have a Slack page as well. Slack is good. It's a nice little app you can put on your phone, you can put it on your desktop, and because you can receive instant spots right on your phone. So I could be here, and the Slack thing I can have it set up to pop up when somebody gets spotted at a park, and I could go chase after them. That's up to you, not necessary. Please use phonetics. Observe the DX code of conduct. And if you are on the POTA.app, please spot the POTA guy that's out there. Let other people know that this guy is out here activating the park. All that helps. You don't have to. It's not a mandatory thing, but it helps. Helps that person activate the park. Maybe he doesn't have cell service. A lot of guys sometimes they might ask you, "Hey, can you spot me? Because I don't have any cell service." And that's the way you do that. All right, so this is a snapshot of what the POTA.app desktop page looks like. Shows the call sign, the park number, park name, and the frequency that he or she is on. Underneath, it'll give whoever last spotted that person, they'll put their call sign there. Usually they put a little comment, thank you, or, you're 5'9" in Florida or so forth. Or the top one on the top left there, N2CX, he was spotted by the reverse beacon network that I was telling you. I know it's kind of hard to see, but he's on CW on 30 meters on CW, and he was spotted by the reverse beacon network, which automatically spotted him on the page. So he didn't have to do anything. So he's good if he didn't have any cell service or whatever the case may be. He as long as the beacon hears you, it'll spot you. And you have to do that specific way, like I told you, your CQ and your 2 call signs, and in order to get picked up by the skimming. All right. Well, I enjoy hunting POTA activators. You're helping another amateur reach their goals. It's an easy and short contact. It's great for new operators, especially if you're new to HF, to get rid of mic fright. All right. Like I said, once you log up, you have your stats available to you. The awards get posted. You don't have to log submissions if you're a hunter. Makes you a better operator and so forth. You can hunt as little as you want. You could stop. You could come back. Take a break. It doesn't matter. It's up to you. You do however you please. Also, you can help the activators by relaying them, like Park to Park is calling them, and they're not hearing them because you have this guy with 1 kilowatt, and you have a low station there that's calling for Park to Park activation. If you happen to hear them, let them know, hey, you got a Park to Park calling you as well. This way they can pick them up. They get priority. It's not a mandatory thing, but our code of conduct is that we usually stop everybody and say them and pick up the Park to Park for it first. This way we both could get the credit. And these are some of the different awards you could get for being a hunter just by sitting at home. And most of these I got just sitting at home. The one on the left, that's from 20 Unique Parks Silver Certificate. That's the first one you get. It's one of the first ones that you get, actually. The one on the right, that's a sample. I don't have that one. Let's see. working through different environments, with QRM, got people that's going to intentionally try and tune up on you and cause interference. You got to be able to work around that. I usually, if that happens, I'll spin the dial, find another spot, and I'll respot myself, and the hunters will come follow you. All right? And if I have to go to the bathroom, if I have to go take a water break, or I just want to get up and stretch my legs, I tell them, hold on, I'll be back. I've taken a 10, 15-minute break. I come back, frequency is still clear. As soon as I call CQ, I get a pile up again. I'm like, well, they was just sitting there waiting. Sometimes they'll sit there and wait for you. But that's what they do. So you got ones that's very hardcore, like a lot of people right now. There's one thing they're trying to do is get a park every day of the year. So they're trying to hunt a park, at least one park every day of the year, trying something new, but I'm not going to do that. Let's see. All right. As an activator, if you go out and set up, make sure you stick of safety first, put any flags up if you need to, cones, make sure that, no tripping hazards. Have a checklist of all the stuff that you need to bring with you. The less is better. You don't have to bring a whole trunk full of stuff out there to the park with you. You can keep extra stuff in your trunk just in case. But I have a Pelican case which carries my 7300, a battery, a microphone, external speaker in that Pelican case alone, and then I have another bag which I carry my antenna, which I use as the Wolf River coil, and that carries my all the stuff I need for that, including the tent stakes and so forth. Make sure you follow the rules. The park closes at sundown. Make sure you're out of there by sundown. Don't get locked in. Depending on the state, you got to make sure, be careful of throwing things in the tree. Right, Jerry? I think you probably, it depends on, I don't know which states prohibit, especially like on federal parks, a lot of places, they prohibit you from putting things in the tree. So that's why you need either a fiberglass pole or, something self-supporting antenna. And that's one of the reasons why I go with the Wolf River coil, because it's self-supporting. I don't have to put anything in the ground. A lot of places you can't even put tent stakes in the ground. So you got to be mindful of that. So that's why I went to that brand antenna, and it has served me well, and I've made contacts from coast to coast and DX just from the park.
Can you describe your antenna? I'm not familiar with the name.
Yeah, sure. I have a picture of it coming up next. Coming up soon. Well, I just discussed all the equipment I bring. Yeah, this is a short list here. 7300, a battery, antenna, coax, bring an antenna analyzer, my iPad, and paper and pen in case my iPad dies or I forgot to charge it, and so forth, so forth. You can bring extra stuff if you want, solar panel, extension cord, depending on how long you're going to be out there. If you're going to be out there all day and you have a solar panel, bring the solar panel, keep your battery topped off, generator if you're going to lug a generator, and so forth. All right, so let's see. Next slides are just going to be pictures of different people activating from different locations. This person here, he's active. He's at a picnic table. I see he has a fiberglass pole strapped to one of the pilings there, and he's just sitting there activating near the water. Here's a person here activating at the beach. Matter of fact, he could probably do two of them if there's a designation for that beach, because they have beaches on the air as well. So don't forget about that. All right, y'all know, or lighthouses on the air too. So there you go, 3 things in one. Knock them all out. Let's see, this one here, I guess this is just an overlook station. He brought his own table and chair and antenna. I'm not sure what he's using there. Probably just look like an inverted V or something to that effect. This person here is camping in the forest. He has a little tent. I can't tell what type of antenna he had, most likely a wire antenna, but that's why he's activating the park, doing that when camping, probably overnight. Like I said, you don't have to get out your car. You can sit in your car and activate in the vehicle with your ham sticks, your screwdriver, ATAS 120. You can use anything and just sit in your car and activate. I would suggest don't use the car battery. Use a external battery. Don't use your car battery because unless you're going to keep your car on. But you don't want to run your battery down and be stuck there when trying to crank up and can't move. And it won't be a pleasant thing sitting there waiting for the tow truck to come give you a jump unless you got a booster pack with you. But yeah, use an external battery if you plan on activating from your car if possible. If you're going to be there for an extended period of time, let me say it like that. This person here, he's in Lake Mead with all these different dipoles. You really can't tell in the picture. I tried to mark the different dipoles there and so forth. He looks like he's pretty well covered. He got solar panels out there. So he looks like he's going to be there for either, a couple of days or a couple of weeks. And he's self-supporting there. That's me activating at Pumpkin Hill Creek Preserve. That was my very first Parks on the Air activation. Let's see, county parks. I already discussed that. The county parks don't count for POTA. County and city parks don't count. But you can still go and not activate, but you can still go and have fun on radio. You can do it as a group thing too. If you have a club or a club call, you can do it as a group. Get a group of guys and go out and activate on different bands, or you could just have one radio, pass the mic around like I've done before, and just have fun. All right, this is a mast with a stake, rope, tripod. Self-supporting mast. It must be out an inverted V. Like I said, a lot of places don't allow you to throw wire or anything in the trees, so you got to be able to support your own stuff. Okay. And this is the antenna I use. Can you see that? Look at that one there. Look at that one. That one's a little clearer.
The same one you had.
This is the same one I had at Field Day. It's the same one I done for the presentation for the Aries. This is the Wolf River Coils. Wolf River Coil antenna. I did little modifications to it. Those yellow things around the edges, those are just tent stakes I put down because it was a little windy that day and I didn't want my antenna blowing over. But I run 18 radials around. They're about 8 feet long each. I have quick disconnect bullet connectors so I can easily take them on and off. When you do buy the kit, it comes with 3 33-foot radios. I still have those as well. I put bullet connectors on those as well to make it easier to take off and on. I just tried to make it a little faster for me setting up and breaking down. That's just my preference. Usually takes me about 5 minutes and I'm on the air. And if the rain comes, it takes me about 5 minutes to tear down and I can go on my way. But this antenna covers 80 through 6 meters. I primarily use it from 40, actually 60. I use 60 meters too, but primarily 40 through 6 meters I use this antenna for. And I've made countless contacts through just with that antenna alone. All right, I spoke about the social media. We have a Facebook and Slack program. Check us out on there. And there's some other groups that you could check out. The Beaches on the Air, which I talked about, and the Florida State Parks on the Air. I think they have a event every year. And that's it. Okay, so now I'll leave that on there so anybody want a copy, and open the floor for some questions. Yes, sir.
Before you set up, do you tell the park rangers what you're going to do?
No. I don't tell the park rangers. Out of all the parks I've been to, besides Fort Caroline, is the only part of the park that I actually spoke to a ranger before I set up, because I wanted to make sure that I was okay at the spot where I wanted to set up, because they have meetings there. So he told me, such and such meeting is going to be over in a few. After that, you can have the bench and do what you want. I was like, okay. And that's the only time. The other time I spoke to a ranger is when she was coming around just cleaning and whatever. She's not paying me no mind, but she did come and ask sometime. And we spoke before at Pumpkin Hill. And she gave me permission to come after dark, actually. Because, you know, a lot of places, they close at sunset. But I wanted to do some late shift activations. I don't have any late shifts because, you know, I didn't want to be there after sunset. But she said, it's no problem. She said, especially you. I know I've seen you here countless times. You can come. We don't lock the gate. You know, just don't leave a mess or whatever. So it all depends. Any other questions?
How many total contacts have you had from parts on here?
Don't get me the line. Let me see. I can pull up my stats. No, I have to log on here. But total contacts so far, it's up there. It's up there in the numbers. While I pull that information up, anybody else got any questions real quick? Oh, hold on. I got two. There.
Yeah, Mike,
Yeah.
going back to a question I mentioned earlier,
Mm-hmm.
what if the park is on federal land or state land, but it's operated by the city?
If it's on federal land but operated by the city, it's most likely not a federal park. I mean,
It's Hannah Park.
like Hannah Park, yeah. That was a question I had also before. Even though it's not run by the feds, the city runs it. So they don't count that as a park. I mean, I could submit it and see, and then they'll do their inquiries and try and find out. But is it on the federal list or is it under the city list? If it's under the city list as Hannah Park and not federal as Hannah Park, most likely it's not going to be added as a park.
I think the land's actually owned by the state.
But the city runs it though, so I believe that's a city. They'll be counted as like a city park.
And Tilly Fowler Park, that's owned by the feds.
But it's run by the city.
and run by the city.
Yeah. Same thing.
That's Yukon, Florida.
Come again? What'd you say? That was Yukon, Florida?
Yeah, Tilly Fowler Park used to be known as Yukon, Florida, if I remember right.
Oh, okay. Any questions from the chat? Any questions from the chat? I'm sorry, I'm just trying to find my stats
Yeah, answer
here.
me the next time you're calling CQ on 60 meters.
Who's that?
That's Chris.
Oh, Chris. Okay. Yeah, I try all the bands. You know, I try not to just limit myself to 40 and 20 like the majority of them do. Oh no, that's why I got to sign in. You know, I try all the bands. I've been trying 10 meters lately. 10 meters has been opening up. Well, I haven't been out to the park, but 10 meters has been opening up. So you can make contacts. Yeah, I made contacts as a hunter to other activators.
Is that with your vertical antenna?
That was with my vertical antenna. So far,
That
yeah,
loading coil is
no loading coil.
coil.
Oh, you're talking about with the roof? Oh, that's only when I go out to the park. For my house, I have a vertical as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But that one there, what bands do you work on that?
I use it for 60 all the way up to 6. Well, I mean, it could tune from 6. It could tune from 80 to 6, but I don't really do 80 too much. It's not that effective, and especially during the daytime, is dead anyway. So I use it 60 as well. So 40 to 6 meters, I can tune it up.
And how are the different bands tuned?
The different bands are tuned on that antenna. Let me go back to manually. So on the whip, I run a 17-foot chameleon whip, which is 17 feet in length. It's not the standard whip that comes with it, which is 102 inches, I believe it is. And
MFJ?
huh?
MFJ?
No, it's not MFJ. It's their own. I don't know.
It's a 17
You know what it is? It's like a telescopic whip that comes on the old multi-band radios that or?
Yeah, I have one.
Okay, so that's what it is. And I think depending on which version you buy, you can get different configurations of the whip. But basically, it's a base-loaded antenna that you have to find the resonant point.
Okay, that's what I was
Yeah.
asking.
Although
That's
now
what I
I
was
think
gonna get
they've
to.
come out with, say, center load, which gets the current node a little bit higher in the antenna. But what I've read is it's a little bit top heavy. So you gotta worry about it falling over.
And that's why I put the tent stakes on, because you get top heavy in the wind. It doesn't have to be a strong wind. And, I adjust it by, depending on the band, for example, for 20 meters, the collar is bypassed, really. And it's a 17-foot whip, which is already resonant for 20 meters. So I just bypass the collar, I just leave it at the very top and adjust the whip from 20, 17, 15, 12, 10 by shortening and lengthening the telescopic whip. Now, when I want to go to 40 meters, I extend the whip fully, and then I have to bring the loading coil in and bring the clicks down to about 16 clicks for me. Well, as you do it for a while, you get to learn. So you got to click, you hear it, click, 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 and count to 16, and that's how I adjust it for 40 meters. Oh, and to answer your question real quick, 3,089 total.
Okay, over what, how long period of time?
I started August,
Okay.
like August of last year.
Okay, so,
Yeah, I'm not an expert. I just started, but I was hunting a long time and got to know how the ropes go. Yes, sir.
What kind of antennas do you use?
At my home QTH, I use an NFED half wave, which is 80 through 10, 132 foot. Yes, I got it to fit in my little HOA property, and it served me well. And recently, I just added a DX Commander Classic with the 80 meter inverted L into the mix.
That is gaining a lot of popularity.
Well, it was a Christmas gift, so I didn't.
prices, right?
It wasn't too bad. I don't think it was almost off. Yeah.
You know, the design concept for that's been around for many years.
Oh yeah. But he just kind of perfected it, to put the fan dipole as a vertical fan dipole. That's all it is, really. And so I have 6 elements around that, which is tuned, resonant on the different bands. And I have 80, 40, 20. I'm sorry, 80, 40. 40 gives me 15 with the harmonics. 20, 17, 15. I already said 15. 12 and 10 on that one antenna.
Make a suggestion for give you some food for thought is take a half-wave end-fed antenna fed with a 49-to-1 Unin and make it a vertical.
I was thinking about doing
And you
that.
know what the big advantage of that is?
One wire,
One
multi-band.
wire, but the current node is way up the antenna. Then the quarter wave DX Commander, the current node is on the ground.
Yeah, because I noticed my takeoff angle is really low. But I like to chase DX. That's my style. I like to chase DX. I'm not more of a local drag chewer. I like to chase the DX, and I've noticed that a lot more of the DX stations have been coming in or hearing me better than they have ever since with the NFED. But that's a good point too.
Well, the
And-
DX Commander, with that style of antenna, to me, the issue with those antennas, and I'm not singling out DX Commander,
Mhm.
is it needs a ground system. Whereas with the NFED vertical, it really doesn't. Although I have found out, it really needs a counterpoise,
Mhm.
but it doesn't have the ground loss because it's a high impedance fed antenna.
Just almost like a flagpole antenna. A lot of the Harbor Freight flagpole antennas that people have been building is almost the same principle, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. The only problem is I was going to go the flagpole route, but I'm planning on moving.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to put a flagpole, then have to tear it back down and so forth. And plus, I don't own the place, so I can't do a lot of modifications to it, that I would do if I own my place where I'm at now. So I'm renting. I'm a renter. I had to do renter things. So that's why I kind of limited to different antennas that I could put up and so forth. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Yeah, can you speak a little bit more to the transaction between stations? So you've got an activator, which you're at the park, and the activator is, are hunters looking for you, or are you looking for hunters?
If you talking about if you're at the park already? If you're at the park, it goes either way. The hunters will come look for you.
Okay.
If you want to get a couple of park-to-park entities under your belt to give each other credit, you could look for them as well.
So
You know.
ideally, it's not just between
No.
parks and parks.
No, not at all. So the typical time when I go to start, this is how I could scan the band at the same time. I'll look and see where the different activators are. I'll spin the dial, see if I can hear them, make a contact with them, get an idea of what's going on, make sure my antenna, everything is working fine, and I go from there. Then I'll do that maybe 5, 6 times. I've activated a park, just hunting other activators. You could do that as well. And I've done that before when I want to get in and out, or if I don't want to sit there all day, or the hour, or if I'm just driving by or something. I've done that before as well. So I lost my chain of thought.
You can use the website to find out where people are at.
Yeah, you can use the website at POTA.app, and you can pull it up on your phone like I just did. That's how I was able to get my stats real quick, because I didn't know it by heart. But you can pull up, you can see your stats anytime. You could see who's out there activating right now. So we got quite a. I know you can't see, but it's quite a few people that's out there active. That's actively at a park. So now you want me to mess up the whole thing. How do I go back to full screen? I do that. Nope.
Just go to the website on that browser right there.
Okay.
Got a question?
Yes, sir.
Chris,
Oh, Chris. Sorry, I couldn't see the chat with the presentation. Okay. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, pressed the wrong button.
No, I was just waving at you while you were messing with the screen. That's all. I'm sorry, Mike.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you did wave, because I didn't know where I had left the meeting.
Just go on here.
All right. So let's see here. How do I get back?
Just type it
okay.
in that one.
Okay. Okay.
No, not there. You're gonna leave again.
I'm gonna leave again?
Yeah, go on that other
This
tab.
one here?
Yeah, go on that
Okay.
tab.
Okay. Gotcha. Thank you. I think I got it now. Sorry. Not used to this.
You didn't get rid of the rest of them.
Oh, it didn't?
There you
Okay. All right. I think we're back now.
Yeah.
Go back in. All right. So this is how the app website looks when you don't have to log in to see who's out there. And this gives you a good list of who's working where. I got somebody in Nevada, California, 2 people in California, 120, Virginia. You're seeing a lot of Florida because everybody's down here for vacation right now. And like, for example, here's a Japan station. Oh, you can work FTA too. I don't think I remember that. If you're into digital, you could do FTA as well. So here's a Japan station on FT8. This my other buddy James, and they are down in Florida, down in Orlando, and British Columbia, New Mexico. Not too many DX stations on right now. But that's all. I don't want to bore you with any more of my ugly mug up here. Any more questions before I turn it over to the Master of Ceremonies?
Thanks, Mike.
All right, thank you, guys.
Okay, thanks a lot, Mike. By the way, there's a ham N4CD, Bob Boss, and used to be a big time county hunter, but that's kind of played out. That's what he does, and you can get he's got travel logs of all the different parks he's visited and the history behind them. Just do a search on N4CD County Hunter News, something like that puts